And now, Knock 2 Studios presents Common Censored.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Common Censored. Thanks for being here, all of you censored commoners. I'm Lord Sterling, and this is episode 295. Climate crimes? Are you fucking kidding me? The EPA has arrested somebody for smuggling greenhouse gases. Does that mean we're all smuggling greenhouse gases if we're walking around exhaling carbon dioxide everywhere? That's like the top greenhouse gas, according to these losers. Actually, it's water vapor, but they'd like to exclude that one. What's up, Sean Anderson? Ink in the house. That's right, 295. Bro, crazy. Crazy. We also have a NATO coup that just occurred in Romania with an election nullified after a big anti-globalist win. They, when they win, it's democracy. When we win, it's Russian interference. So we'll get into that. Daniel Penny, manslaughter charge has been dropped with a jury that couldn't come to a decision. Now the judge has instructed them to consider lesser charges in in a ridiculous thing. They should just drop the whole thing. Let him go. Daniel Penny is innocent. The dude was still alive. The cops didn't give him medical treatment on the spot. So that whole situation is a bunch of BS. Make sure to join us Monday through Friday, 6:45 p.m.-ish Eastern time as we cover all the crazy clown world, the clusterfuck chaos that is 2024. Use hashtag Common Censored and hashtag #InfoInfantry when you share the show. You can find us on X at Lord Sterling _. Thank you to our new followers on Rumble. Appreciate you guys. That's right, Outlaw Dogs. Daniel Penny is a hero. Agreed, Commodore. Smelling McGroin. They should dismiss all charges 100%. Commodore McGroin. Links to all of the stories, articles, videos, content we covered today will be posted down in the video description on Rumble. Immediately following the termination of the broadcast, Mama Mac will be adding timestamps as well. So if you're watching this later, you need to maximize the efficiency of your time and attention. Click on down there in the show description, find the topics that interest you, and jump right to that point in the podcast where we talk about the things you want to hear about. Make sure to throw Mama Mac some love and head over to alplama.com, your new herbal health guru. And if you want to support the show directly, you can find all of our links for tipping, for affiliates, for merch and everything over at our link tree at Common Censored. Disclaimer. Views expressed on Common Censored are only opinions. Assume everything we say is false and research for yourself. We're not giving medical, legal, or financial advice. The only advice we are giving is think for yourself. Question authority. Think for yourself. Question authority. Boom! Outlaw Dogs, toying in the chat red as a new monthly supporter. Thanks so much, the Outlaw Dogs. Boom! Don't forget to head on over to the Outlaw Dogs, follow her channel, and check out the interview we did a couple Saturdays ago. It was a great time. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it. Learn a little bit more about Lloyd Stoiling. Thanks, Cheryl. Oh, man. All right, let's jump into the news. We're going to start the show talking about Biden's EPA enforcing the first climate change arrest. The Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, is ASHO under President Biden has made its first ever arrest related to climate change. As part of an increased enforcement effort, this arrest is highlighted in the EPA's recent enforcement report, which details a significant increase in actions against environmental offenders. Yeah, if you breathe, you're an environmental offender, according to these losers. Thank you. Outlaw Dogs, happy early Christmas. Appreciate it. Merry early Christmas. Merry early Christmas to you as well. Let us know which branch in the info infantry are you again? Are you info army? Are you info navy? Are you info marines? Are you info space force? I don't remember. I have it on the chart probably. Marines, there we go. The outlaw dogs, info marines. Eddie's Marine, thanks for your support. Appreciate you. So yeah, this whole thing is nuts. This individual was arrested, charged with smuggling potent greenhouse gases, marking a new era of environmental law enforcement. What? What? Are you kidding me? Mike Lee, thoughts on Biden making, quote, climate change arrests? I see pardons in the future. I see pardons. Biden EPA makes first ever climate change arrest. President Biden's administration has made a precedent-setting arrest related to anti-climate change activities this fiscal year, highlighted in a new report that shows a ramped-up enforcement against, quote, environmental offenses. Like breathing. Thursday, EPA issued a final report on enforcement efforts under President Biden, which detailed how climate-related penalties were enforced this fiscal year. EPA worked to implement the American Innovation and Manufacturing Act, which probably is designed to destroy the economy, because if you're not allowed to even breathe carbon dioxide, then you definitely can't have factories with fumes and stuff like that. So American Innovation and Manufacturing Destruction Act is probably more accurate, a more apt title for that one, which requires the agency to reduce hydrofluorocarbons, a synthetic compound commonly used for refrigeration or air conditioning, by 85% by 2036. The AIM Act led to the arrest of Michael Hart of San Diego in March on charges related to, quote, smuggling potent greenhouse gases, highlighted in the EPA report. The charges marked the first ever greenhouse gas-related arrest issued under the AIM Act, but according to the EPA press release from earlier this year, it will not be the last. We'll see about that. We will see about that. These fucking climate change arrests. Fox News reporting on it. The EPA increased the number of penalties for polluters this fiscal year. Insane. The Biden administration has made a precedent-setting arrest related to anti-climate change activities this fiscal year. What the hell? What greenhouse gases did this dude have? Let's see. I haven't seen what these gases are that this individual is accused of smuggling. Smuggling greenhouse gases. Exhaling and farting? That's, I mean, what everybody is smuggling methane all the time. These people, man. It's outrageous. So, Biden's EPA just made history with the first climate change arrest. This administration is prioritizing smuggling greenhouse gases while ignoring real issues like crime and border security and people freezing in North Carolina. Paul Clay saying, I've heard this climate alarmism since about 1977 when we were facing an ice age. Why would anyone trust what government officials are saying is a threat? Are scientists who rely on government grants. Yeah, that sounds about right. Biden EPA makes the first ever climate change arrest. Everybody is like, what the hell is going on here? This guy and his various leftist extremist henchmen cannot be gone soon enough. I hope this arrestee has good counsel and they get these ridiculous charges dropped pronto. Good Lord. These people and their, quote, good intentions will ruin us. That's right. As you very well know, the road to hell itself is paved with said good intentions. Speaking of Biden, man, take a look at him here. What the hell is he having some kind of new genetic mRNA injections to transform him into Boris Johnson? Biden looks rough during White House Christmas tree lighting ceremony. Look at him. What? Falling asleep? Right, exactly, Wendy. We are the carbon they want to eliminate. Indeed. I hope you're having a Wendy-ful Friday, Wendy. Oh, man. Look at him. What the hell is going on here? You go to the Christmas tree celebration, celebrating, Jesus Christ, and you show up looking like this? Blasphemy. Blasphemy. Falling asleep at tables with African leaders, showing up to Christmas tree ceremonies with his hair looking like Boris Johnson. This is outrageous. This is such an international embarrassment at this point. Where is the Brunson case? We need the Brunson verdict immediately. Swap these losers out and put Trump in ASAP. Joe Biden looked rough during the Christmas tree lighting ceremony on Thursday night. Biden participated in the annual Christmas tree lighting ceremony at the White House after he returned from a trip to Angola, Africa, which apparently is a country that does not have an extradition agreement with the U.S. So there may have been a secondary purpose for Biden going over to Angola, as time-delayed Fuse mentioned to me in a chat the other day. Maybe he was making preparations for trying to escape the Trump administration by going to Angola, laying some bricks for a non-extradition refuge. Maybe. Jill, Alice Cooper Biden, was not in attendance. This is just like getting so out of hand. Let's take a look as Nick Sortor says, Jill Biden sounds almost as drunk as Kamala Mamala at the White House Christmas tree lighting tonight. 46 more days, folks. And luckily we've got Tucker over in Mother Russia acting as a back channel for the new president, guaranteed. He's over there on speakerphone with Putin by his side and Trump on the other end saying, Trump, just hold off 46 more days, President Putin. 46 more days. Oh, man. What an embarrassment.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas. This Christmas tree lighting is one of my wife Jill's favorite events.
This Christmassy lighting? Is that what?
This Christmas tree lighting is one of my wife Jill's favorite events. So she truly regrets not being here tonight. She's on an international trip in Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, and Sicily in order to promote women's health research. She sends her best wishes to all of you on behalf of Kamala and Doug. Where are you, Kamala and Doug? There you go. Welcome on behalf of them, welcome to the National Christmas Tree Lighting. Thank you. Mickey, all the artists are performing tonight. Special thanks to the Jones family for their service and sacrifice in our military families. Tonight, they'll help light this beautiful tree. Mickey, will you start the countdown?
All right, y'all, let's count down together, people. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Whoa!
A bunch of white. This is crazy. Thankfully, there's only 46 more days left, guys. And the talk of preemptive pardons is continuing as we hurtle towards 2025 through space-time. Looks like we lost the connection there. Boom. You guys did see that video, though, right? Jerry GB, what's up? Good to see you. Trop in the house, too. Shout out to everybody over in chat. Tulip McGroin, Trop. Mama Mac, Jerry GB, smelling McGroin, the Commodore. Wendy Wild, Braden McGroin. Thanks, guys. TV Green, Outlaw Dogs, Dirk Gently. What's up, Anderson Inc.? Thanks again, Outlaw Dogs, for joining as a member. President Joe Biden is reportedly considering issuing preemptive pardons for several key figures, including White House officials and prominent Democrats, demon rats, like Anthony Fauci, Lizard Cheney, Adam Schiff, and now General Mark Milley. Oh, man, don't you dare pardon General Mark Milley. We even had Adam Schiff coming out and saying, don't give me a pardon, trying to save face. He wants that pardon. He knows he needs a pardon. He's just trying to pretend like he doesn't want a pardon to, for the optics This consideration comes amidst discussions within the White House on protecting allies from potential legal actions by future administration. Cringe Jean-Pierre, the White House press secretary, has indicated that Biden is actively reviewing these next steps, but has not confirmed any specifics. DC Drano saying Mark Milley engaged in one of the purest forms of treason known to the public. He called China's military behind the president's back and said he would not attack them if given the order by the president, said that he would give him a heads up. That's effectively a military coup. Yeah, totally is. He needs to be brought to justice, report White House lawyers studying a preemptive pardon for Mark Milley. Ooh, man. Well, if they pardon you for something for this, we will find something else. Like, we're against show me the man, I'll find the crime, but we know this fucker is guilty. So if they take away this charge from us, we will find something else. Mark my words. Charlie Kirk saying, wow, cringe Jean-Pierre suggests that President Biden is seriously considering, quote, preemptive pardons, unquote, for certain White House and Democrat officials. Quote, certainly the president is looking at, reviewing next steps, and there will be more to come. Let's take a look at cringe.
Are preemptive pardons on the table of President Trump?
I'm just not going to. I'm not going to get ahead of the president. Certainly, the president is looking at, reviewing next steps, and there will be more to come. I'm just not going to get ahead of the president. I'm not going to get into hypotheticals from here.
Are preemptive pardons?
Insane. Who will they not pardon? Everybody's guilty. He's going to have to just do a blanket pardon for his entire administration. And I don't think that will go over very well. Amazing, says Alex Berenson, that this keeps getting traction. And 2 days later, and views 2 days later, people hate the idea of Fauci being pardoned. Yeah. Yep. President Joe Biden is weighing whether to issue sweeping pardons for officials and allies who the White House fears could be unjustly targeted by President Donald Trump's administration. At least let the process play out. Let the courts decide. We trusted the courts to handle Trump and Trump's officials, right? You don't trust a jury? Who cares what the president, selective prosecutions. The jury is a failsafe against selective prosecutions. You're saying you don't trust democracy? You don't trust the votes of 12 juries, 12 jury members? Like, this is all so ridiculous. Ridiculous, man. How about this? Now Obama is coming out. Obama, yo mama, saying that the GOP rigged the election. Former President Barack Obama criticized the Republican Party for allegedly rigging elections and weaponizing the justice system during his speech at the Democracy Forum. Everything that they do, they accuse us of. Let's be real. Like, this is so ridiculous. Former President Barack Obama insinuates that Republicans are responsible for stealing elections and politicizing the U.S. government. The only rigging that I want to be responsible for is rigging the ropes at the gallows for Nuremberg 2.0. Barry O, you better ask for a pardon too, because you know there's all kinds of dirt. What about that chef, Obama? We're going to be politically, legally targeting you with some due process as well. Do we have a video of it? Let's see. Yeah.
There are going to be times potentially when one side tries to stack the deck and lock in
Election denier.
a permanent
Enjoy the dinner smelling.
grip on power, either by actively suppressing votes or politicizing the armed forces,
That's
or
right,
using
smell.
The judiciary, the criminal justice system to go after opponents. And in those circumstances, pluralism does not call for us to just stand back and say, well, I'm not sure that's okay. In those circumstances, a line has been crossed, and we have to stand firm. There are going to be times.
Just a total clown show. Patrick Byrne saying, I'm wondering, are these people consciously gaslighting? Yes, they are. Obama is a conscious, knowing, willing adamant liar the whole time he's been in politics? Or are they simply demonic? I don't think those are necessarily mutually exclusive, Pat. Or do they no longer know what the truth is? No, they know what the truth is. They know very well what they're doing. What is it that compels them to accuse others of what they do themselves? They don't want to get caught. They don't want to get caught. They want global domination, and nothing will get in their way. They're going to try to paint the town blue before the election. Expect it. Paint the town blue. Riots all around you. That's what they're going to go for. They're already organizing protests for the inauguration day. No way, Mama Mac. Daughter's bringing home Pepe's. Frank Pepe, the inventor of pizza of the Pete's in New Haven, Connecticut. Nice. Enjoy that, Mama Mac. That's the original pizza, guys. If you guys don't know that, pizza invented in Connecticut. The legendary Frank Pepe. So good. It was the Republicans who cheated. Mr. White posted a good meme. Obama just claimed that Republicans rig elections and weaponize the justice system. Remind me again. Which political party raided Trump's house in Melania's panty drawer? Hashtag Dems lie. That's a good hashtag. Obama, in first remarks since election, says a line has been crossed. If one side makes Satan moves, these people are deranged. Oh my God. Not the Bee. Yeah, this should seem like it should be a Babylon Bee headline with Obama claims Republicans rigged the election. Give me a break, man. Here's Obama implying that Republicans rig elections, abuse the justice system, and want to, quote, lock in a permanent grip on power. That's exactly what you were doing. Insane. Insane, man. We also have crazy news over here with Adam Schiff resigning his House seat as he prepares to be seated in the Senate after winning the 2024 Senate race. So Representative Adam Pencil Neck Watermelon Head Schiff, the structural marvel of a human, has resigned from the U.S. House of Representatives effective December 8th, 2024, to be sworn in as a U.S. Senator on December 9th, 2024. Oh, that's a problem. That's a problem. Schiff needs to be dealt with in terms of, laws, prosecutions. This dude is a flagrant criminal, in my opinion. We need him not to be pardoned so he can get the justice that he deserves. Due process, of course. So Schiff, who served on significant committees like the House January 6th Unselect Committee, will transition to the Senate after winning the election in November 2024. His move is part of a strategic plan to begin his Senate career early and accumulate seniority. Only thing I want him to accumulate seniority in is in the jailhouse yard, baby! He should be accumulating seniority in prison. Breaking. Demon Rat Adam Schiff has resigned from the U.S. House effective immediately, although it's effective on the 8th, I think. Yeah, so it's not effective immediately. Derek Evans, you didn't even read one sentence where it says it's effective December 8th. Maybe I'm just losing my mind, but I think it's December 6th right now. Ooh, nice. Enjoy salty Tim Pool's gay music. Fuck yeah, bro. The salt must flow. Adam shit needs to be locked up. That's right, Jerry. That is right. Uh-oh. We got more problems over here. Fans of the Hawk Tua girl, Haley Welch, now want her in prison for running a massive crypto scam. Hapless investors lost millions. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The spit's turning back on you now. It might be time for the Hawk Tua to talk to a lawyer. Nice one. This is by Ben Q. At Gateway Pundit. Haley Welch, who became an overnight sensation for a social media clip in which she described how she liked to spit on men's genitalia before engaging in oral sex, is now accused of running a multi-million-dollar crypto scam in which hapless investors have lost millions in savings. It's dangerous, man. Going from, being a bartender or whatever Haley Welch was doing to getting involved in crypto. That's dangerous territory. I don't even fuck with crypto, man. Not one bit. Maybe just a little bit. but I mostly sold. I got out as much as I could. New York Post reports Welch 22 skyrocketed to overnight fame earlier this year after an off-color comment that she made during an X-rated interview in Nashville went viral on social media. The Hawk crypto meme coin hit $490 million market cap shortly after its launch late Wednesday, Cointelegraph reported, citing data from Dex Screener. Let me grab Loki. She's exploring places she shouldn't be. Say hi, tweet. If you're new to the show, this is our mascot, Loki, the green cheek conure. But within 3 hours, the coin had plunged 91% and carried a valuation of just $41.7 million. Data from blockchain analysis site Bubble Maps showed that a small number of crypto wallets controlled the vast majority of the available supply of Hawk. That fueled criticism on social media about so-called, quote, snipers, unquote, or investors that buy up vast quantities of new meme tokens at launch. So how is it Haley Welch's fault that these snipers are going around sabotaging shitcoins? After the launch, Welch said on X that her team had, quote, tried to stop snipers as best we could through high fees at the start of launch, and said her insiders on the crypto project hadn't, quote, sold one token of Hawk. Yeah, but high fees don't help. That only affects the people with small amounts of money. You know what I'm saying? Like we covered that meme yesterday that said that any crime whose punishment is a fine is a law that's specifically targeting the lower class. So putting high fees probably didn't do anything, babe. Sorry about that. DivX Man, the Hawk 2 meme coin recap. Looks like a lot of people lost money. Hawkonomics. Oh, man. In a recent interview with Fortune magazine, Welch said the meme coin was not just a cash grab, quote unquote. She admitted that she used to think crypto was, quote, just a scam, unquote, and quote, easy way for you to lose money, unquote, but has since been convinced of its value. The alleged scam is currently dominating social media, with some people complaining about huge losses, tremendous losses, and people even organizing themselves to take legal action. Jigga says, hi, Haley. My $35,000 that I purchased of Hawk is now $2,000 after 10 minutes of buying. Maybe you should have fucking thought about how stupid it is to invest in shit coins. Fuck this stupid bullshit. These people are responsible for their own losses. You put money in a fucking Hawk to a coin and it goes to zero. Sorry, that's not Haley Welch's problem. That's you being a fucking idiot. That's my opinion. Your free will led to you throwing money down the drain. How are you going to blame Haley for that? I'm a huge fan of Hawk 2, but you took my life savings. No, she didn't. The snipers did. You willingly invested your life savings in a fucking Hawk 2 shitcoin. Now you're going to blame everybody else for your idiocy? I purchased your coin, $Hawk, that you were so excited about with my life savings and children's college education fund as well. This can't possibly be real, can it? You didn't mention that you were going to buy 97% of the supply and sell it almost immediately to make a large profit. Well, she claims she didn't do that. Is this defamation? Could be. Donna, invest in sick ball sucker. Yuck. Yeah. Ridiculous. Hawk to talk to a lawyer. Yeah, that's right, Wiley. Exactly. Please help me, or who can I contact for a refund? That's not how this shit works, bro. Oh, no. There's no way this is real. Oh, man. Oh, man. There's nobody to blame but yourself for losing your money in shit coins, man. That pretty much wraps that up. Let's jump over next to another big trending topic. J.D. Vance has gone to North Carolina to survey the damage and vows relief post-inauguration. Vice President-elect J.D. Vance visited Western North Carolina on December 6th, today, to assess the damage caused by Hurricane Helene. During his visit, he engaged with local efforts for rebuilding and support, promised further aid post-inauguration. While there, Vance toured areas still recovering from the hurricane's impact and met with affected residents, highlighting the ongoing need for federal disaster assistance. He posted about it saying, Usha and I spent the day in Western North Carolina visiting families and first responders affected by the storms and the flooding. We will never forget you, and we will work hard in the coming months and years to help you rebuild. God bless you, North Carolina, and we'll see you soon. Hopefully he goes to Maui next, because we can't forget about Lahaina either. We need to help these people. If we're going to, if we're sending hundreds of billions of dollars overseas, we can help these people. And I'm against, using public money for private causes in general. But right now, with hundreds of billions of dollars going everywhere else, and you're screwing these people, it's unacceptable. Bo Loudon, breaking. VP-elect J.D. Vance just arrived in North Carolina to help those who've been forced to live in tents in the cold after Hurricane Helene. And there have been children who have died. The Amish brought down these and built these tiny houses. One family got put in one, and then the code people came and said, it doesn't meet code. Put them back outside in a fucking tent, and their kid died. Their kid died, man. I will not be satisfied until people involved with FEMA and the people who did all this stuff are behind bars.
Right now, Vice President-elect J.D. Vance is in Western North Carolina. He is there to tour storm damage. This is weeks and weeks after Hurricane Helene ripped through that part of the South, causing devastation. Right now, Vance is meeting with first responders, specifically volunteer firefighters in the town of Fairview, North Carolina. He's also joined by his wife on this special trip. Fairview, just for people who know the area or don't, is right outside of Asheville, North Carolina. It's a small community in Buncombe County. It is a little bit kind of southeast of Asheville, North Carolina. But the people of Western North Carolina, many of them have still been living in tents.
Yeah, instead of Haley Welch getting in trouble for Jigga putting his life savings and children's college funds into Hawk shitcoin, maybe they should arrest Jigga, because that should be a crime. Putting your kid's college fund in a volatile shitcoin, that sounds like more of a crime to me. Crime of stupidity.
Essentially abandoned by the federal government, people whose jobs are essentially to help these very people in their time of need. They have been abandoned by those working for FEMA, by even the governor, Roy Cooper, but not J.D. Vance, not today, and not his wife, and not the incoming Trump administration. We will monitor this.
Ed, I feel you, bro. Ed Hoskins in the chat. We love Ed. Ed says, yeah, I'm going to need to take a break from all this. I'm going to lose my shit. We got people at the VA having fucking orgies on the clock. Yeah, there's a story with 12 employees at this VA having an orgy on the clock, and one of them had sex with like 32 colleagues at the VA. Wow. Crazy stuff. So Vance vows hurricane relief for Western North Carolina once he and Trump take office, criticizing the administration's response. Let's check out this video of Vance.
You want people in this area to see change under your administration that starts in January?
Well, I think, one, hopefully it doesn't take 45 days for this to happen. But as I mentioned earlier, Tom and Ted have explicitly asked the Biden administration to grant the FEMA waiver that would allow mobile homes to come back to this area, that would actually give people some short and maybe some medium-term housing. I mean, Tom and Ted are welcome to talk about that if they want to say more. I hope it doesn't take 45 days, but if, God forbid, it takes 45 days, that's something that is going to change immediately under President Trump's leadership. Think about it. The argument here is that you can't allow people to put mobile homes in a floodplain, in an area that has the risk of flood damage. Well, that's pretty much this entire area, an area of the state of Massachusetts. If you don't grant a waiver, you're effectively telling people they've got to move hundreds of miles away and do it 2 weeks before Christmas. It's ridiculous, it's atrocious, and we need a government that responds quickly to the needs of its citizens. So much of the frustration at FEMA, at everybody else, it's not malice. I don't believe that the officials of the Biden administration are intentionally doing bad things, but it's bureaucratic rat.
Come on. They're intentionally doing bad things. You can say it, JD. It's obvious. They straight up said, we're going to ignore Trump supporter houses. If they got a Trump sign, just ignore them.
Red tape, it's slowness, it's a bureaucracy that is moving at the speed of a glacier when what you need is people to respond to the concerns of the people of Western North Carolina.
Maybe if we didn't have a federal government regulating people into poverty, then people around them in North Carolina would be able to help, and we wouldn't even need the federal government to be involved. But that's a whole nother branch of the potential American civilization timeline. Hopefully, we're going to merge this current branch that we're in back into that branch and have a new future of unlimited prosperity, opulence, extravagance, as we get rid of regulations that are holding everything back and preventing communities from being able to afford to take care of each other. But this is messed up, man. This is messed up. Sean Hendricks says, thank you to JD Vance for reaching out. I'm blown away at the detail and understanding they have of this situation. They ask the right questions and are looking for solutions, not photo ops. Looking forward to continuing to part of the solution.
I posted an hour ago, hey, JD Vance, we got a lot of stuff happening up here. Love to talk to you. And within minutes, you guys got his attention. He reached out to me, and I just spent a half hour on the phone with his team. It's a little crazy to me that this is the first in-depth conversation I've had with a politician about this event after, 8 weeks now? I've talked to senators on the ground, at the airfields, at the airport as I see them, but a sit down with a team to actually dissect how we can fix the problem. And that's what we talked about mostly, is like I always say, if the rules are hurting people, we change the rules. And we basically talked about what rules need to change in FEMA to actually get the help people need. Like I said, if we have the money to buy people's land, to give it away to green zones, then we have the money to pay people to rebuild their houses. Actually, rebuilding a house is cheaper than purchasing the land. The land's usually the expensive part. And we talked about how the flood zone rule makes no sense, especially up here in the mountains where we're not going to see another flood until next hurricane season in the worst case scenario. But yeah, they were really on it and cared about understanding what I had seen up there. I just can't believe that I'm talking to the freaking next vice president of the United States of America about how to fix this versus local senators, local representatives for the state level, and even like county commissioners. No one's called me. No one.
JD Vance, a man of the people, started at the bottom, worked his way to the top. He's the type of guy that would have his ear to the ground and be willing to talk to these people.
Picked up the phone and said, hey, what are you seeing out there? Except the new vice president of the United States of America.
He can empathize with these people.
A little wild. It just shows you, though, why you need to get involved in your local and state elections. I think 2026 is our next round of voting. I think March, you can start getting into your local political agency. I don't know anything about this stuff. I'm going to find out because I'm definitely going to get involved. And I think there needs to be happens a lot of education on how to get involved. And I think I'm going to start posting about that going into next year. But anyhow, thank you, JD Vance. Thank you to your team. Your team is amazing, by the way. You've got some absolute monsters helping you run this thing. So they were super intelligent, asked the right questions, and I could tell they care about the American people. And that's something we need more of. So thank you again.
Boom. Love to see it. JD Vance on the ground, Western North Carolina, making preparations to do everything that the Biden administration should have done and didn't. We need arrests. We need jail. Man, these people make me sick. How about this? Gunther Eagleman reposting Ian Yeager saying, I support this. LFG breaking. NFL Hall of Fame quarterback Brett Favre calls on the incoming Trump administration to take back all farmland that China owns in America. The debate over Chinese ownership of U.S. farmland intensifies amid security concerns. Recent discussions have highlighted the issue of foreign land ownership in the U.S., with a particular focus on land owned by China and the Chinese entities. While some argue for restrictions, citing national security risks due to the proximity of this land to military bases, as noted by experts in a New York Post article, others point out that China's ownership of U.S. farmland is relatively minor compared to other countries like Canada. This debate touches on themes of national sovereignty, economic influence, and espionage risks. Although claims of direct calls for action by public figures like Brett Favre remain unsupported by current evidence. conversation continues to evolve, reflecting broader concerns about foreign investment in strategic American assets. Kick them all out. Kick them all out. Take our fucking land back. Fuck you, China. How about that? Yeah. Donald Trump News channel saying, do you think China should forfeit their 192,000 acres of U.S. farmland and be banned from purchasing more? Yep. Fuck you, Winnie the Pooh. Sean Davis saying, allowing foreign governments to purchase American farmland is insane. Yeah. Responding or reposting Mike Lee, who said, what do you think are the U.S. government's most absurd agricultural policies? Definitely letting China and other countries buy up all of our land. Brett Favre, you just earned a follow, bro. Brett Favre says President Trump should take back our farmland from China. Do you agree with him? 1,462.9%. China, aka Face Shots, said China shouldn't be allowed to own any property in the U.S. at all. But yet they have secret police stations in New York and California to track down dissidents who have spoken out against the Chi-Coms. Super insane. So yeah, let's get and I saw somebody talking about this. There's like military bases down in Texas that China has huge amounts of land right next to it, so they can monitor and spy on us. They got fucking Chinese police stations in New York and California. They're flying spy balloons over the country. Biden is a China puppet. They did nothing about any of this, so it's time to clean house, kick out the Chinese, at least the landowners, take the land back. Get the Chinese police out of our country, send them back to the country that they have jurisdiction, China. Insane. So this is just crazy, man. This is just crazy, the whole situation. Let's have a little bit of a respite from the horror and check in with Melania, our lovely former and future First Lady. Juanita Broderick at Atten's Nut posted this one. Our beautiful Melania is on Fox News this morning. Let's take a look at some of this interview with Melania.
In the United States and the author of Melania
Secret
Trump.
police
Great to
station.
see you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
I guess the first thing is congratulations. How has your life changed over the last 3 weeks? It's not so new, but this is...
My bad, Wiley.
We've never had this happen, a president leave and come back in, 80 years?
Yeah, it's incredible.
How can you not love Melania?
We are very, very busy. The life is, the pace of it, the transition team. I'm establishing my transition team and also working on my office, putting my office together, and also, organizing the residents and packing. And it's incredible what you need to do when in that situation.
Melania, in your book, you wrote about the Obamas and wanting to go into the White House in 2016 and go in early so that you could find out what the room colors are to make sure you could have a room that was suited properly for your son, your young son at the time. And there was some hesitation with letting you in early. You probably don't need to go in early this time because you know what to expect. But how is that working? Have you been back to the White House? Will you go in early to prepare?
Well, this time is very different because we already know where we are going and we have all of the plans from before. So we don't need to go back in. My team is in contact with the White House, so that's a plus. But we have all what we need. So this is the second time, so it's nothing new. The first time was challenging. We didn't have much access till we were in January 20. So, but this time it's already in the process.
Well, you don't have to go in and measure the drapes because you put the drapes there.
Correct.
So it's one of those things. So take us back. We all remember in 2017 when he became president. During this transition period, it was kind of a mad dash because it's like, oh, I won. Now what do I do? He's won before. He knows what to do. It seems much.
Thank you to If Not Freedom, Then Death for following us on Rumble seconds ago. Appreciate you. If not freedom, then death. That's right. I know not what others may choose. But as for me, give me liberty or give me death. Thanks for joining us.
Much more focused, and it seems really efficient. I don't know
Henry.
if that's Elon Musk, the efficiency guy, but it just seems so much calmer.
Yeah.
I think it's for everybody, even for me, it's very different because I know what you need to establish. You know what kind of people you need to hire to be in your office. Right. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm interviewing people for my office. I'm establishing everything what it needs so we could start on day one. Everybody's in and we start working.
Great. You know, Melania, you don't get a lot of credit for this, but you did a lot when you were in the White House. And some of the stories people don't know, you put several students, and we're going to talk about your ornaments a little later.
I think her English is great, Wiley. She's, she spent a lot of time in her home country, so she's got an accent, but sounds pretty good to me.
Pay for their college, put them through school.
Yes.
So tell us about some of the programs you're going to do this next time around.
Well, when I was in the White House for 4 years, I established my Be Best initiative, and I also successfully brought it overseas and around the world. Was very successful, and after I left the White House, I established my Web3 and Web2 platforms, where I design, where I have collectibles like ornaments every season. This is the third season. And many other collectibles that are available now. So with those, I have students from a foster community that I sponsor, and I'm very proud of. And we have many of them now. So their life changes because they will have an education.
Sure.
So we got debate in the chat of how many languages Melania Trump speaks. Just did a little brave AI search. Based on the provided results, Melania Trump is reported to speak 6 languages: French, German, Italian, English, Serbian, and Slovenian. However, there is some speculation and debate about her fluency in each language, particularly Serbian, which is not explicitly confirmed in the available information. More specifically, former Assistant Secretary of the Treasury Monica Crowley stated that Melania is fluent in 5 languages: English, Italian, French, German, and Slovenian. A 2016 MSNBC interview quoted Melania Trump as saying she spoke English, Italian, French, and German. Some sources suggest that Melania Trump may not be fluent in all 6 languages, citing a lack of video evidence showing her speaking beyond basic phrases in languages other than English. But sounds like she can at least dabble in 4, which is pretty impressive. Not bad. Not bad.
So, so much has changed this time. Can I just give you my observation? I saw the president last night. I saw when he was hosting The Apprentice. I actually interviewed him when he was with the USFL, when I was doing sports, and he was an owner. And I have never seen him so level. He just seems calm, serene, accomplished, not cocky.
He really does.
You see him every day in all different circumstances. Are you noticing, even if you factor in the assassination attempts, a different approach right now at 78 years old that you maybe have not seen before?
I think because we've been there and he was there before, and now it's a different. I think the energy is different. People around him are different.
But don't you think the magnitude of the win is different? It was so comprehensive.
It is.
How did he internalize that?
I see that the country and the people really supported him, and they support him. His focus to make this country great again, and his patriotism, it's incredible, and his hard work as well.
Yeah, there were 2 assassination attempts while he was running. Now that he will be our next president, do you feel like the rhetoric has been toned down? And how do you feel? Are you worried going forward?
I hope it is. I hope the country will be united.
Me too. So, Born to Eat Toast asking, is Slovenian a romantic language? Based on provided information, Slovenian is considered a transitional language between the Slavic and Romance languages. Okay, so you said Slavic. Slavic is a different category. Romance languages are obviously but for anybody out there who doesn't know, languages derived from the Roman language. So So English is a mixture of Romantic and Germanic, French, Italian. Italian is straight from Latin. But yeah, there's all these different types of languages, and they're kind of like mixed up, and it's pretty crazy.
And that's what we all hope for. And, I'm always against violence. I think nothing is accomplished with the violence. And that's what we need to, talk about it.
Mm-hmm. It's got to be so thoughtful, and we've heard him talk about, by the grace of God, he is alive today. What we have seen since he was elected and over the last couple of months is that calmness and maybe gratitude or whatever it is. But something else we've seen is he seems so kind of happy and loose, because last night at the Patriot Awards, I think we got a clip, he was doing the Trump dance. And
This is funny, man.
I'm sure you've seen that evolve over the last... As you look right there, how do you describe your husband's dance moves?
Oh, this is very special and unique dance.
It is, right?
She thinks it's goofy.
I think a lot of people are copying it, and everybody have fun with it.
Yeah. Which part? Is this how you dance?
No.
Which part of the Trump did you give him any tips? Like in the beginning, it was low, and then it was up high, and now there's a golf swing.
No. He's coming all on his own.
Have you ever done the Trump dance? You are Mrs. Trump.
I did not.
So I guess you're going to start today. You can practice.
So, Melania, everyone...
So just for the record, the Trump dance, obviously, minimalist, a little goofy, it's Trump. But this is the way he used to dance. So I think it's a pretty big upgrade. Melania would be a little bit more embarrassed if he still danced like this. That is vintage Trump right there. Back in the day. Dancing, a dancing fool, man. Total dancing fool.
Everyone is so fascinated with Barron. And as people may or may not know, he helped the president-elect with his social media strategy and say, hey, you got to do some of these TikToks. You got to talk with some of these podcasts. What is the fascination with your son? We actually have a clip of a before and after of the evolution of Barron. Let's play it.
Say hi, Larry.
Hi, Larry. I like my suitcase. I have to go to school now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not really him, Wiley. It's a joke.
What do you think the evolution of your son? He's a grown man.
People drew comparisons.
He's a grown young man. I'm very proud of him, about his knowledge, even about politics, and giving an advice to his father. He brought in so many young people. He knows his generation, because nowadays the young generation, they don't sit in front of TV anymore. They're all on the tablets, they're on the phones, and all of these podcasts and streamers. He was very vocal, and he gave an advice to his father, and was incredible how he brought in a success, because he knew exactly who his father needs to contact and to talk to.
Isn't it shocking how fast he went from that little boy to the big man?
What advice do you have for other moms that are, because I'll go back and I'll look at videos of my daughter when she was that age, and there's like a pain in my heart because I missed those years. What's your advice for all of us that your son's in college now, you've seen him grow up, how do you handle each stage?
I think you need to be present and to be with them as much as you can, to be there as a teacher and a guidance, give them guidance. I think it's the most important, because years goes by so fast. We just don't imagine. It's like I see the clip that you just showed. I feel like it was like a few months ago.
Right.
But the time goes so fast.
But here's your challenge that we don't have nobody watching us. He's trying to adapt to college as a freshman, always tough. He's got Secret Service everywhere in New York City, where even not being 6'9" and famous, you could be targeted for a random crime. How has he managed to navigate him? And what advice do you give him to try to be, is it possible for him to be a normal student?
I don't think it's possible for him to be a normal student. His experience at college, it's very different than any other kid. And I'm very proud how he's handling. He's very strong, and he knows that he's in different position than other children. And I just say, make your dreams come true. This is your road. This is your life. And make sure that you listen yourself and your likes and dislikes.
Right. He'd want to come over my tower for lunch. You don't really hear that from other people, but he does. But evidently he likes it, right? The Stern School?
Yes, he does. He does like it.
All right. We're not too far away from Christmas. And as it turns out, your book is on the...
Yeah, just for the record, Wiley, yeah, I know. It's not Trump. It's a joke. It's from Soul Train, but people have been posting it and, and joking about it being Trump for a while. So, yeah, I just thought that was
New York
hilarious.
Times bestseller list. It's also a fantastic last-minute gift. It's the perfect size to put in a big stocking.
Yes.
It's a great stocking stuffer. For more information, you can buy the book at melaniatrump.com. It must be very gratifying that so many people want to know more about you.
Yes. It's a great success book. I hear from so many fans and so many people that they read it and they loved it. When you do the project like that it's very personal and could be sometimes very joyful, but also very traumatic and hard.
So when people read it and they go, you know what, I read it. There's one thing in that
I forgot about
did
that,
not
TV.
know about you.
Yes.
Is there one thing that they repeatedly say, I didn't know you did this?
Correct. They don't know few of the stuff, even from my childhood, how I grew up, and also from the White House years. And they don't know, and that's why I wrote this book.
One thing that stood out for us is here you are, this beautiful international model, and you're the First Lady of the United States, the world's most popular country. You're in the White House, and you're not on the cover of any of these magazines.
Yeah. She used to be.
Do you think that will change? And would you say yes to them? I think the Vogues, the Peoples, whatever.
Look, I've been there on the cover of Vogue, on the covers of many magazines before, and for me, we have so many
enjoy that
other
pizza, Mama
important
Mac.
things to do than to be on the cover of any magazine. I think the life would not change for anybody if I'm on the cover of the magazine.
Can I retract my question then?
But I guess it goes.
You're on the cover of this book.
If they want to sell copies,
But
put her on.
if you read the book, she talks about how Anna Wintour went to Paris with you. Is that where you went to shop for her wedding dress?
Yes.
They were friends. She was on the cover of Vogue several times before that. And after that, because you're a conservative and married to Donald Trump?
Soon my husband announced that he's running for the president in 2015.
So crazy.
Was everything changed for them and for us.
But Rosie O'Donnell went to your wedding too, right?
No, she did not.
Oh, good.
What? I thought you...
No.
So, Melania, you got the new season of your ornaments coming out. And this is how you pay for some of these kids' colleges as well.
They're beautiful.
Tell us about it.
So these are the ornaments that they are available this season. This is the third season that I design, and they are very special. For example, Lady Liberty, it was inspiration from my necklace that I bought when I was modeling in Paris. And now we have an ornament, and we have also a necklace that it's available on melaniatrump.com.
Beautiful.
So this one, it's the necklace and inspiration, the flower.
These
correct.
are awesome. These are
they're very patriotic this year. As you could see, it's all red, white, and blue. And I was inspired by the
And they're
election.
different each year, right, Melania? You discontinue them after each
limited edition.
They discontinue, they retire, and this is available right now. And it's a great gift and a great collectible, actually.
They're made really well, too.
They're beautiful.
They're beautiful. And you can also go on our website and buy the coffee table book. So the smaller black book came out a few months ago, but then still #1, I believe.
Yes.
It has been #1 for a very long time. And then the book underneath, the white book, which is larger, it has more pictures in it and pictures that you took while you were First Lady. And that's a great Christmas
For the coffee
gift.
table.
For the coffee table.
And by the way, next year you got to do this. You got to design the whole White House. It's your last year off for 4 years.
Yes, yes.
All right.
Mrs. Trump, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming back. And
Of
being
course.
first
Thank
with
you.
us. The United
Speaking of coffee table books that make a good Christmas gift, how about Common Censored, our eponymous title, the ultimate free speech First Amendment coffee table gag book. Link to this book is available over on our link tree. We took Common Sense by Thomas Paine and censored it all into oblivion, begging the question, is a revolution against tyranny even possible when the public commons is stifled and suppressed? And in honor of Mama Mac, we have a brief review from Barstool Pizza, One Bite Pizza reviews of Frank Pepe's Pizzeria Napolitana in New Haven, Connecticut. Let's check it out.
All right, Frankie, you made me take my jacket off because you get a different thumbnail so people know it's a new day. You're a moron if you don't know we do one a day. We are at Frank Pepe's, the original. So I've had Pepe's before, Chestnut Hill. There's another one in Connecticut I've had after a golf
one in Florida,
tournament.
too.
I've never had the original in New Haven. This is one of the legendary classic places. I love Pepe's. Whether the original will be different, 1925. Modern, the first one we did in New Haven, I think was 1936. It's a big place. They know their jam. Yeah, I told you, Frankie, it looks a little bit like the modern. This pizza dances. It makes me tingle in places that you can't talk about because it's a kid's show, but my dick, it makes it tingle. One bite, everybody knows the rules. There must be a shit ton of Italians in New Haven, Frankie. Look at the street,
Yum.
Worcester Street. The sign, Little Italy, there's pizza and everything. Your people, Frankie. One bite, everybody knows the rules. The original Frank Pepe's. It's a solid slice. It's like they cut that slice. They said, oh, it's Prez. They actually knew, he's like, I'm gonna cook this one perfect for you. One bite, everybody knows the rules. Frank Pepe's, a legendary slice. Fifth degree burn. I won't recover for that, Frankie, for 2.5 weeks. They said it's hot. They just took a piece of my tongue with it. The roof of my mouth, it's gone. It's gone.
Blasphemy,
It's like it was
outlaw
never even
dogs.
there. I'm playing through pain. Hurt. One bite, everybody knows the rules. Frank Pepe's, legendary establishment.
Boston has some good pizza too, Omega. Crazy Doughs. I used to live right over Crazy Doughs. Won the Las Vegas pizza competition a bunch of times. They have a giant check in there.
All right.
Pizza Pyre, another really good Boston joint.
Here we go. Now, what I'm going to do to you, Frankie, here, and the kids at home, they're going to ooh, they're going to ah, they're not going to like what I'm doing. To get this score, you got to download the One Bite app. We'll release it in a couple hours, but I need people
TV
doing
Green
the One Bite app.
backing
You got to score your
Outlaw
pizza, you got to do
Dogs.
it. This Pepe, this legendary review, it is on the One Bite, onebite.app. Go get that app. You can see the review of this score. Here's what the score is.
Oh, they're leaving us hanging. Spoiler alert, got a really good score. He went down to West Palm or somewhere down in Florida and maybe Naples. I can't remember where. But did a review of the Regina. Regina, I'm not familiar with that, Omega. But at least you know about the ones I mentioned. He went down to the one in Florida, Pepe's down there, and it was not as good. Didn't hold up, didn't stand up to New Haven. So he released his review video online, and Frank Pepe's progeny flew down to Florida and took over the restaurant for a couple of months, fired people, and revamped the pizza down there. So Dave Portnoy went down and did a second review of the Florida Pepe's pizza and was much more impressed after they revamped it. So Pepe's legendary pizza, guys, the originator. In other news, jurors in the Daniel Penny case deadlock twice. Judge dismisses the manslaughter charge But that's not all. He orders the jurors to consider a lesser charge, which they'll be doing on Monday. The quartering had a good breakdown over here. Let's check in with Jeremy.
Well, the latest breaking information says that Daniel Penny trial judge agrees to
8.3, thanks, Sean.
drop the top manslaughter
really good
count,
score for
which
him.
is the one that, carried the 15-year sentence after the jury had come back deadlocked twice. I assume there is someone on that jury that just quite frankly refuses to convict this individual, or there's someone on that jury that quite frankly refuses to see that this man is a hero. In fact, he was nominated for a award today, some sort of congressional award. I think it was congressional. I'll have to double check that in a second. A Manhattan judge on Friday agreed to drop the top charge against Daniel Penny in the subway chokehold incident. We moved to dismiss the top count of manslaughter in the second degree. Assistant District Attorney Daphna Yoran told the court around 3:30. The judge signed off on the request, which came after jurors twice said Fridays that they couldn't come to a verdict on the manslaughter rap because he's not guilty of it. And they have somebody in there who's ideologically captured. The 12-person panel now, see, here's the big but. They will resume deliberating on Monday on the lesser charge, which is of negligent homicide, of which Penny faced trial in May for the May 2023 encounter aboard the F train. He, of course...
Interestingly, Wood Geek, it seems like it might be the opposite, that there is one person on the jury who is retarded. There's I think he shows it in a couple seconds, but there's, the courtroom art where people draw, and there have been reports, we know it, that one of the jurors was double masked, wearing double masks. So obviously that person isn't thinking clearly, and was probably the mask tart, exactly, Toast. So they probably were the person holding this whole thing up, screwing over Daniel.
For the May 2023 encounter aboard the F train. He, of course, has pled not guilty as well. Now, if you look at the definition of it, a person is guilty of criminally negligent homicide if they cause the death of another person through criminal negligence. The prosecution must prove that the offender's actions deviated from the standard of care that a reasonable person would observe were the proximate cause to the victim's death. Criminally negligent homicide is a Class E felony with a maximum of 4 years in prison. Now, I'm just guessing. Now, again, I have almost no faith whatsoever in our legal system. But obviously, some people are saying, well, this is just so they could get him on the other charge. I'm guessing if you're Daniel Penny, that was a big exhale, getting the one with a 15-year sentence off the table. Now you're looking at one with a maximum of 4. And obviously the judge is not going to impose the maximum. And probably it would be up to the judge whether or not he would even get prison time. So, I would guess you're probably not going to do that. The fact that Neely was still alive when the first responders arrived should have disqualified this charge immediately. Neely was alive and rejected treatment and had drugs in his system. Yeah, I would say so. People saying, I think he did pretty well staying within the standard of care for restraining a crazy maniac terrorizing a subway car full of innocent people. He should be found innocent of this charge as well.
Pam! Welcome
Examples
back.
of this charge would be firing a weapon into the air in a crowded celebration, leaving a child unattended in the car in hot weather. And then, by the way, someone has to die in these scenarios. Texting while driving at high speeds in a crowded area. These are things that would be, an example of this charge. I don't know, at this point, if he's going to get, both charges should have been and should be dismissed, of course.
The only people being charged, or that should be being charged, are the medical first responders who completely refused to give the guy any medical treatment because they were worried about getting AIDS. They didn't do their job, technically speaking, right?
Daniel Penny is a model citizen who should be praised by the city of New York. You see here, Judge Daniel Penny case is rigging it to force a guilty verdict. This from Mike Cernovich, who I believe is or was a lawyer. Yeah, you can see it's possible. What Daphne Yoran is doing to Daniel Penny is nuts and absolutely illegal. She moved to dismiss count 1, manslaughter, because count 2, criminal negligent homicide, couldn't be considered if there was a verdict. They're bending the law to try and squeeze a guilty verdict for somebody who saved people on the train. You see, don't ADA Yoren, don't tell them it's acquittal on a count 1. Only that is dismissed. Penny's lawyer says this has never been done before. It would encourage the prosecutors now to overcharge in the grand jury with the option of withdrawing if hung under coercion. So Daniel Penny's own legal team said, this is crazy. We don't want to do this because it sets the precedent now for you guys to be more corrupt. The judge says, I'll take a chance and grant the people's application. I'm going to let them return to consider on count 2 on Monday. Bring them in. Jury entering. Judge, the manslaughter in the second degree is dismissed. You are free to consider count 2 on Monday. Judge Wiley says, I would say if I'm on the jury, I would guess that this would probably signal to me that, they should also dismiss that case.
Well, right here, instructions from the judge, like Born to Eat Toast just posted over here with it highlighted on patriots.win. Jury instructions: if you find the defendant not guilty of count 1, manslaughter in the second degree, for the reason that the people have failed to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant was not justified, then you must not consider count 2, criminally negligent homicide, and you must also find the defendant not guilty of that count. So what the fuck?
To try case, but what this feels like is a Hail Mary attempt to try and make sure they can still get a
stress,
guilty
Dame
verdict.
Pam. I'll be
That's
here.
what they want. The
Looking
judge
forward
and
to
prosecution are pushing the jury towards a compromise verdict.
Thank you
This
so much.
is usually considered misconduct. In this case, it could pass because the judge took the top charges off the table. This is evil. Also, if the jury is hung on the negligent homicide charge, there can be a retrial for the manslaughter. No, I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. Yeah, it's dismissed with prejudice. Yeah, it was dismissed with prejudice, so they can't retry
Good to
it.
know, Omega.
I don't know. I know that people say this was crazy. By the way, this is the accuser here, by the way. Not enough people know this about the testimony. Again, he was very dirty. Cops for Daniel Trenny trial blame filth, fear of getting AIDS for not performing mouth-to-mouth resuscitation on the homeless person. By the way, you don't have to do that.
So right here, he's showing a picture of this dude who just had charges dropped, I think, for murdering, for killing somebody else on a train. Some similar type situation. Daniel Penny, 24, put a homeless felon in a fatal chokehold to stop him from attacking. Jordan Williams stabbed and killed a homeless man to stop him from attacking people on his New York train. This guy stabbed and killed a dude and gets let go. But Daniel Penny, they're trying to prosecute. It's insane. Same city, man. Same
the bail,
type of event.
by the way, of course, $200,000 for him. This guy's, this black guy here stabbed a homeless guy, and he got bail $0 and had the charges dropped. This is a perfect microcosm, right? Daniel Penny did the same thing as Jordan Williams. Jordan Williams is black with dreadlocks, 0 bail, no charges. Daniel Penny, $200,000 bail.
Oh man, the battlements, arm the parapets, launch the cows. We're being raided by Lady Hamilton Art. Oh no! Hold on, hold the hot oil. Don't pour the hot oil down the ramparts yet. Actually, it looks like it would be friendly fire. Thanks, Lady Hamilton Art, for rating the show. Hope you guys had a fun broadcast over there. And, I was thinking, so far we've only used the raids as like a fun way to, to connect communities on Rumble and bring different audiences together. But is there anybody on Rumble that's on the left? We could use the Rumble raid to actually raid enemy broadcasts, if there are any on Rumble, and just go and talk shit in the chat. Maybe we'll have to do that sometime if we can actually find any leftists that are broadcasting on Rumble, though there probably are none. We could use it as a weapons platform, guys. for shit talking and raiding enemy streams. That would be hilarious.
Zero bail, no charges. Daniel Penny, $200,000 bail.
Thanks, Mama
and
Mac.
full-on charges to try and ruin this guy's life. I don't know why we can't,
Stop
call
talking
this
trash
out what
about
it
Lady
is.
H.
But there's definitely all these charges need to be dismissed. If they find him guilty on anything at this point, obviously he needs to go to appeal. But this is, I still
JJR.
say it's a minor win, because at least if this corrupt system gets him, it's not going to be for 20 or 15 years.
Look, and you can see in the
Because at least
one more back.
But this is, I still say it's a minor win.
Boom, here you can see the guy with the double masks in this courtroom art over here. That's the guy probably who screwed over this whole operation against Daniel Penny.
Because at least if this corrupt system gets him, it's not going to be for 20 or 15 years. But I'm hoping, Matt Walsh thinks it's an embarrassment that New Yorkers haven't been rallying en masse to support Daniel Penny. Yeah. I'm guessing.
Toast.
We'll have to see how the second part of this shakes out Monday. I'm hoping for an acquittal on that charge as well. We'll wait and see. Make sure you subscribe or follow down below to make sure you get notified when I upload any updates to this case, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Boom. So pretty brutal. Pretty brutal. Hopefully he's found innocent for everything, because this is a travesty of justice, in my opinion. Kaylee McEnany also posting about it. The judge dropped count 1 against Daniel Penny, but this is far from a victory. It's a travesty. A good Samaritan was made into a bad actor. A hero turned into a villain. A Marine veteran turned into a criminal. I will take a look, Omega. Thanks, brother. Only in Manhattan and maybe LA and DC would a case like this have even been brought. The entire case should be dismissed. Got to agree. All right,
we're going to go Ivies over Big Ten. Fine, let's go.
Okay, so here's what I think. I know a lot of people are saying, look, this first charge dismissed, right, the 15 years. This makes it easier for the second charge to go through. Here's why I disagree. 12:30 p.m. on Outnumbered, we had a jury note that came in. And the jury note said that the jury...
Real quick, thanks to Omega Directive for the Cash App donation. On Monday, totally missed it. So sorry about that, brother, but I really appreciate you keeping the broadcast alive, keeping Loki's belly full of delicious treats. Thank you so much, Omega. You're the man.
I wanted clarification on what a reasonable person standard is. This is why it's
We gotta hang out sometime,
this goes
bro.
to the negligence charge, that one carrying 4 years, and they ask you, would a reasonable average person have perceived the risk to Jordan Neely? Well, there seems to be disagreement if they need clarification on the reasonable person. I'm hopeful there. But when you look at this, the reasonable person, there were many reasonable people on that subway train. The bystanders who thanked him, the bystanders who helped him hold down Jordan Neely, the woman of color who said this, they're trying to make this about race. Well, a woman of color, that's how she self-describes, said he is a hero. It was self-defense. He is only guilty of trying to help people. Those are the reasonable people on the subway. This is a travesty. It's great news. The first charge is gone, but not a victory, a travesty. A good Samaritan being made into a bad actor, a hero into a villain. Welcome to Manhattan. The only other jurisdictions that could do this were DC and LA. So good job, Alvin Bragg.
Do you agree with Kaylee as a Michigan graduate?
The characterization of Michigan being less than an Ivy League, I'm not going to accept.
Oh,
I will say this.
You're a swing state.
I largely agree with Kaylee. I come.
Free Daniel Penny. Free Daniel Penny. We're going to need a statue of Daniel Penny in the statuary, the new statue garden at the White House, too, I think. How about this one? We have a Boston City Council member who's been arrested. Andy No reporting Tanya Fernandez Anderson, a woke BLM Muslim, former illegal migrant Democrat serving on the Boston City Council, has been arrested by the FBI after being indicted on 5 counts of aiding and abetting wire fraud and 1 count of aiding and abetting theft concerning a program receiving federal funds. She allegedly hired a family member and funneled taxpayer funds to the person for which she could get kickbacks. Sounds like typical Democrat modus operandi. They allegedly exchanged large sums of cash in the bathroom at Boston City Hall. Ms. Fernandez Anderson made $115,000 a year on the city council, but that's not enough, apparently. Democrats and leftists have long praised Ms. Fernandez Anderson for her race-baiting identity politics in Boston, which plays well with white educated liberals. Here she is in August 2022.
What the do I have to do in this council in order to get respect as a black woman?
Not steal, for a start. How about that? Tom Homan, Bordersar News account, posting, just in, Boston City Councilor Tanya Fernandez Anderson has officially been arrested on federal fraud charges and will be arraigned today. She has been indicted on 6 counts of aiding and abetting wire fraud, allegedly using federal cash via her role on the city council. The story is still developing, but a press conference is scheduled to begin 9:30 a.m. this morning. Federal court in South Boston's Seaport. Does this ongoing corruption in Boston, Massachusetts surprise anybody? No, it doesn't. Here's the trending topic. Links to all this will be available in the video description on Rumble and in the comments, replies underneath the X broadcast post as soon as we wrap it up. But yeah, everybody's talking about it. Former illegal immigrant, and she's on Boston's city council. This is ridiculous, man. How about this? Another ridiculous story. Romania annuls election results after anti-globalist firebrand claims a historic victory. Court cites as the reason, Russian interference. You gotta be freaking kidding me. Romania has annulled the results of the first round of the country's elections on the grounds that Russia interfered with the outcome. Anybody believe in that? I got a bridge from Long Island to Hawaii to sell you, and it's super duper cheap too. The election in which the right-wing firebrand Kalin Georgescu narrowly topped the poll means that Sunday's runoff election is canceled. Quote, the electoral process for the election of the president in Romania will be resumed in its entirety, and the government will set a new date for the election of the president of Romania, as well as a new time schedule for the implementation of the necessary actions, the court said in a statement. They added that the decision was intended to, quote, ensure the fairness and legality of the electoral process. Yeah, right. And that a lengthier explanation would be given at a later date once they figure something out to say. Georgescu was scheduled to go head-to-head against centrist rival Elena Lasconi, whose party is seeking close ties with the European Union. However, Lasconi appeared to criticize the decision, accusing the court of, quote, destroying the country's democracy. Wow, even the competitor who was defeated is upset by this. Today is the moment when the Romanian state trampled over democracy. God, the Romanian people, the truth, and the law will prevail and will punish those who are guilty of destroying our democracy, she said after the annulment. Wow. Outgoing Romanian Prime Minister Marcel Ciolacu said the decision was, quote, the only correct solution after the declassification of the documents, which show that the result of the Romanians' vote was blatantly distorted as a result of Russia's intervention. Bullshit. Calling it right now. Georgescu, a right-wing nationalist with no political party of his own, and who did most of his campaigning on TikTok, is terrifying both the Romanian and European establishment by slamming organizations such as the EU, the WEF, and the UN. He is also a strong advocate of Christianity, accepts the so-called climate change is a fraud, and has argued that many elites are involved in high-level pedo rings. Oh yeah, they couldn't let this election go through, huh? In a sense, that UN could can have a fantastic role, he said in a recent interview, but it's not, because it's totally under control of the oligarchs. Ding, 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 ding. The problem is that these oligarchs, all of them, are related with the system of the pedophilia, because we know that there are more than 8 million children per year, which they disappear. That is fucking insane. Similar globalist coup is playing out in Germany at the same time, where intelligence officials are attempting to outlaw the conservative Alternative for Germany, AfD, party on the grounds that it promotes extremism. These are their new tactics. If the left-wing establishment doesn't like the result, they will simply cancel it. Fucking crazy. So I saw the headline right away. I was like, oh yeah, this is a coup. Dr. Simon Godek at Godek et al. Also posted another NATO coup in Europe. A right-wing politician wins the first round in Romania, and suddenly the election is annulled because Russia supposedly, quote-unquote, intervened. This isn't democracy. It's a rigged game run by NATO elites. Europe is nothing more than a sinking ship. Hard to argue against that. Daily Romania at daily_Romania posted this. Remember, when they win the election, it's called democracy. When we win, it's called Russian interference, and then the elections get canceled. This is the EU approach and definition of democracy. It's pure evil. Is that Alexander Soros over here? Ooh, what's this chick's name? I can't remember. But yeah, as you guys know, obviously, quite clearly, it's 100% pure evil. We also have Nigel Farage's Reform UK party overtaking Labour in the national opinion poll for the first time. Brexit hero and Trump ally wants to be the next prime minister, saying, "We're just getting started." Paul Sarin wrote this one. Brexit hero and Donald J. Trump's ally, Nigel Farage, is taking his Reform UK party to new heights. On the one hand, it's a ramification of the global, quote, Trump effect. On the other, Britain is falling back to the European trend of seeing right-wing parties surging all over the continent. It arises now that Reform UK has overtaken Labour in a national opinion poll for the very first time. The Telegraph reported, quote, Nigel Farage's party commands 24% of public support, according to Find Out Now, up by 2 points on last week. The poll of 2,607 adults conducted on Wednesday shows Labour on 23%, down 2 points from last week, while the Tories lead with 26%. As first voting intention poll puts Reform ahead of Labour, Zia Yusuf, the Reform chairman, boasted that they would win the next general election, while Farage reacted with pure delight. And we're just getting started, says Farage with a rocket ship to the moon. Just last week, the party crossed the important milestone of 100,000 members. Quote, Mr. Yusuf said, Reform has all the momentum in British politics. Reform is now polling at 24%, and for the first time, we're now polling ahead of Labour. We recently surged past 100,000 party members and are adding members at a record pace, and we're just getting started. The British people want real change. After years of failure and deception, Reform will form the next government of the United Kingdom. Lee Anderson MP saying, staggering! Reform Party overtakes UK Labour in the polls. The political tsunami continues. Let's go! The poll had bad news for leftists. Liberal Democrats at 11%, and the Greens at 9%. Totally in line with recent European trend. After growing tired of attracting former Tory voters, Farage is now focused on winning over people who supported Labour in the last election or are otherwise uninclined to vote. Quote, it comes as Sir Keir Starmer sought to move on from a series of scandals in his first 5 months with a major speech on Thursday in which he outlined 6, quote, milestones, unquote, for his government. Boom. Let's get Nigel on top over there. We like Nigel Farage for the most part. One of the most based dudes in the UK. Brexit, man, major accomplishment that Nigel Farage helped, led the charge for. And we also have a new poll showing Biden being seen as the worst president in modern history. Just in modern history? Oh, man. He's beating Obama for the worst president in modern history, too. That's pretty impressive. Although it's two different types of evil. Of badness, of being the worst. Obama was the worst because he was pure evil and was like a calculating criminal. Biden is the worst because he's just completely incompetent and is not even really the president, just a figurehead for Obama. So technically it's Obama who's the worst president in both cases. Because Biden is just, just an Obama puppet. potentially. Let's jump over to Trump. Well, I guess we'll cover this a little bit. A recent poll conducted by Daily Mail has revealed that a significant portion of voters consider President Joe Biden as the, quote, worst president, unquote, in modern history. This assessment comes in the context of broader discussions about Biden's effectiveness and his approval ratings, which have seen fluctuations following events like the pardon of his son Hunter. Voters labeled Joe Biden as the worst president in nearly 50 years, according to Daily Mail. President Joe Biden, since I took office, the economy has created more than 16 million jobs. Jobs created every single month. Shut up, Joe. Your job numbers always get revised. AmuseX posting Joe Biden, worst president in modern American history. Poll by JL Brothers in collaboration with the Daily Mail indicates that a significant portion of voters considered President Joe Biden to be the worst president in modern U.S. history, ranking below Richard Nixon. Oh, God, look at him. What is this? This is like some kind of crazy humiliation ritual where they're just, trying to destroy us and humiliate us. Look at him, man. Ah, gross. Grossed. Oh, man. All right, let's see what we got next. Trump, Patriot of the Year at Fox Nation. We saw it mentioned on that Melania interview, but Trump was honored as, quote, Patriot of the Year at Fox Nation Awards. Former President Donald Trump was awarded Patriot of the Year at the Fox Nation's Patriot Awards held on Long Island Sound. That's close to me. I could probably hit it with a lacrosse ball from here. During the event, Trump was celebrated by several Fox News personalities, including Sean Hannity, who introduced him. Trump used the occasion to comment on his transition and his recent election victory, suggesting he has already outdone President Joe Biden's term in office, despite not yet being inaugurated. A great honor. Thank you. Well, we got that from a different angle, too. Take a look at this. Walking out from backstage over here, posted by Laura Loomer. Congratulations to President Trump for winning the Patriot of the Year award. Well deserved. We're so lucky to have President Trump. Hopefully he pulls through, man, and survives long enough to... American flag statue or a trophy. That's fucking cool, man. Let's hop back over to the full video. Congratulations,
Mr.
President.
Thank everyone. This is quite a group. I have so many friends sitting right here. Oh, there's one that he was calling me early
That's right,
on. He was saying,
CIA,
why are
baby.
you going through this process? You know he's going to win. He's big, he's strong. I will never fight you. I'm going to tell you that. But right from the beginning, right? Right from the beginning. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Great guy. So, how about Sean? Is Sean just great, you know? And he said every single thing that I was going to say, and what the hell, I can't say it again. But he's a special guy. He's been my friend for a long time. I probably shouldn't say a friend, but he is really a friend. He's a friend to the country. And I just want to thank Sean Hannity. He's a great guy. And his ratings are very good, too, which is very important. Which is very, very important. And you really do. You have incredible people at Fox. You have incredible people at every level of Fox, really. A couple I don't like, but that's all right. I shouldn't name them, should I? I don't think so. I shouldn't name them. But, you know, we had just a spectacular election.
They begged him to attend. Hopefully he stays safe. When is that going down?
They were thinking it was going to be close, and it wasn't close. We won the popular vote by millions and millions of votes. We won all 7 swing states. And we won the most votes ever gotten by millions by a Republican candidate. And I think I can say also a Democrat candidate, but I won't bother getting into that. We had tremendous, it was a tremendous day, a tremendous night, a tremendous period of time. 72 days, it really started 72 days before. No day off, no play. No golf, no nothing. I didn't want to even play golf, even though it's sort of a good thing to run through.
Oh, that makes me nervous, Outlaw Dogs.
Thank you. It was all work. It was all work because we have a very important job to do. We have to win, and we have to bring our country back. When you look at all of the people that flow through open borders, who could ever want open borders? Who would want that? And
smash like, guys.
When I heard that, I heard it 3.5 years ago, and we built 571 miles of wall. We ordered another 200, which is far more than I said we were going to do, but we ordered another 200. And I heard that they weren't going to use it because we had a very bad result in that election. You remember that night? That was not a pleasant night, but we had a very bad result, very unfair situation. We're going to get things straightened out in this country, including elections. We've got to get the elections. This one was too big to rig, it was too big to rig. They tried, and then they just dropped their placards and went home. They said, this is a slaughter. And but we're gonna do things that have been really needed for a long time, and we are going to look at elections. We want to have paper ballots, one-day voting, voter ID, and proof of citizenship. A little thing like proofs of, and we have a hard time because in California they just passed a law that you're not even allowed to ask a voter for voter ID. Think of that. If you ask a voter for their voter ID, you've committed a crime. They have to get Judge Janine. Where's Judge Janine? To lock them up. You're supposed to lock up somebody that I don't think, she won't do it. She won't do it. She'll say, I'm not doing it. But we're going to get it straightened out. We're going to get the whole country straightened out. And the first thing we have to do is get the criminals out of our country. They've allowed 21 million people into our country coming through open borders from many, many countries. They came from jails. They came from mental institutions, insane asylums even. And we're going to have to get them out. And when you think about it, who would do such a thing? Who would do such a thing? Who would think it's good to allow countries from all over the world? Who would think it's good to allow countries from all over the world to allow people in from prisons and from all of these different places, countries that have serious problems with crime, and they're all coming out. In Venezuela, they took their drug dealers, their criminals, they took the people from areas of the city that where you couldn't even walk in, and they took them out and they brought them into our country. They dumped them into the United States of America, and we're getting them the hell out of here fast.
Afuera!
And as you know, I spoke with Canada, and Justin came flying right in because we talked about 25% tariffs. That's just the beginner.
Made him eat a Big Mac, the president of hamburgers, with only his mouth, no hands. For Canada! I'm a hungry little puppy. Oh man, that fucking skit on CBC was hilarious. Hilarious. How's the pizza, Mama Mac? How's that Pepe's treating you over there?
This is a hell of a nice crowd. I like this one. This is a nice crowd.
Plus, did your daughter leave me a slice in my mailbox as she drove past my exit, Mama Mac, from Pepe's? If not, there's going to be hell to pay. Just saying.
Yeah. That's an interesting statement. Thank you very much. I do appreciate all that pent-up anger and love.
What's that website that he keeps posting, Mama Mac? Some website. I'm going to add it to the blocked. Well, it'll be the only blocked phrase in our chat because that fucker keeps showing up every day and posting links to that site.
It's everything at one time. It's everything at one time. But we're going to do things that a lot of people thought we're going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to get your prices down. And we're bringing the cost down. When we were campaigning, a lot of people thought the biggest thing was the economy, and it is. It probably polled the best, but I never believed it was as important as immigration and the border and stopping our country from being invaded, because this was a massive invasion of our country. And I spoke with, as you probably read, I spoke the other day to the president, the new president of Mexico, a very nice woman, and we had a very nice conversation. But she said, why are you doing this to me? I said, I'm not. I'm just putting a lot of tariffs on because you're allowing criminals to pour into our country, and we can't allow that anymore. And it stopped.
It stopped? Just in case you're wondering out there, your little troll spamster, your website is now blocked. It is the only blocked phrase.
It stopped. It was so fast. It stopped. But we have great people. Tom Homan. Is he Central Casting, by the way, Tom Homan?
Well, don't bother coming back.
Is he Central Casting? We'll stop him. And we'll stop him fast. We shouldn't have to be doing this, but we have no choice, but we'll stop him. But I figured, I really always felt that was bigger than inflation. We're going to take care of inflation. We're going to take care of that by bringing the energy prices down, everything else. This is what they did. They messed up our energy.
Yep, that's the whole purpose. Messing up energy increases prices of everything, increases scarcity. That's the plan. This is Cloward Piven bringing people in to further exacerbate the whole situation. Yeah. So you guys get the gist. If you want to watch the full speech, link will be in the description after the show. Let's jump over to Dr. Ron Paul next, at Ron Paul, the good doctor. Here's an easy one for Doge. Eliminate foreign aid. It's taking money from the poor and middle class in the U.S. and giving it to the rich in poor countries, with a cut to the facilitators in between. Americans don't want their government to borrow more money to spend on foreign aid. Besides, it is the immoral transfer of wealth and is unconstitutional. Look at this. Largest donors of humanitarian aid, aka international money laundering, worldwide in 2023 in million US dollars by country. United States just giving away all of our money. This is the chart right here that shows the politicians looting and pillaging our country, raping us financially, and just giving it away to foreign, to foreign leaders who give good portions of it back to them. Those who delegated the funding in the first place. Guaranteed. That's right. Toast. Invited Robin Hood. 100%. No, it's some, the dude keeps posting like, I'll show the comment. They're putting mRNA COVID vax in your food. You need to do this right now. Every show he shows up and posts this link and we delete him. But now the link is blocked, so we won't be able to post it anymore at all. But that's the only thing that's blocked, as you guys saw. So just so you know, we're not censoring people except for this fucker who keeps spamming us over here. So Elon actually responded to this, which is awesome to see. Ron Paul reposting Elon saying, thanks, Elon. We are ready to help. Elon Musk saying, Doge will address this with full transparency for the American people. Yeah, baby. That's what I like to see. Loki, what are you doing over there, tweet? What are you doing over there? You coming to visit? There's the tweet. If you guys are wondering what she's doing, she's flying around the room. Flying around. How about this? We also have Mayor Eric Adams in New York City, now open to returning to the Republican Party. New York City Mayor Eric Adams has hinted at the possibility of rejoining the Republican Party. Adams, who previously identified as a Republican from 1997 to 2001, has been under scrutiny following multiple federal charges related to corruption, including bribery and fraud. His recent comments come amid discussions on immigration and other policy issues, suggesting an openness to reconsider his political alignment. Did you guys see that one coming? Yeah, it was yesterday. WS84 said, maybe you should join the Republican Party. Well, there you go, WS84. It may happen. Eric Doherty saying, breaking, New York Mayor Eric Adams does not rule out rejoining the Republican Party. Let's take a look.
Would you ever consider rejoining the GOP?
The party that's the most important for me is the American Party. I'm a part of the American Party. I love this country. This is the home of the free, the land of the brave. My 19-year-old nephew died on the fields of Vietnam, protecting
Beautiful
what the
birds.
city and this country represents. And that's the party I'm going to always be a member of. And I did it as a police officer when I wore that bulletproof vest for 22 years. And I'm going to do it with this blue suit as the mayor of the city of New York.
All right. Well, we are looking forward to your meeting with the so-called border czar next Thursday. In the meantime, Mayor Adams, First Deputy Mayor Maria Torres Springer, thank you both for being with me this morning. Would you ever consider rejoining the GOP?
The party that's the most important for me is the American Party.
Sorry about that. Sorry. Fucking hell. Fucking hell. Chrysler is in trouble, guys. Sorry about that. Thanks to Silence Dogood, the lady back from the dead who sent me this story. Chrysler sells only a minivan. Apparently, the iconic brand's days could be numbered. What the hell is going on over here? Chrysler was once a giant in the U.S. auto industry. The reason I was muted, I muted myself to try to trigger Loki to talk. I was like talking with her, trying to get her to say something, and I was going to unmute if she made some sounds, but she didn't feel like being talkative. Uh-oh! Uh-oh! Man the battlements! Arm the parapets! Launch the cows! We've been raided again! Dead Red Media! Is that a hostile enemy force? Prepare the hot oil to dump down the ramparts. Oh! Looks like it may be friendlies. Oh! Okay, hold off on the hot oil. Hold the cows, Wendy says. It's friendlies. Dead Red Media has raided the stream. Thanks, Dead Red Media. Nice to make your acquaintance. Welcome to the party. If you guys are new here, this is Common Censored, and I'm Lord Sterling, flanked by my sidekick and mascot, Loki, the green cheek conure. And we're covering the downfall of Chrysler at the moment. Chrysler was once a giant in the U.S. auto industry, one of the big three, sharing a name with one of the world's tallest buildings and with factories and dealerships spread across America. And while I was muted, I was trying to say that there's this really cool show called like The Cars That Made America, something like that, on history. And they cover the beginnings of all of these iconic American car companies, Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, GM, and how they all got like the wars between them as they were building the American car industry in the early 20th century. Really cool show. If I can find some, maybe we'll share that at some point. But Chrysler's in trouble here. Once is the key word. The company has fallen dismally far. Today, the once proud brand is a shell of its former self, an afterthought on life support whose very future could be in doubt. After going through not one, but a string of 3 purchases by foreign-based automakers over the last 25 years, bankruptcy, and the second federal bailout in its history, the brand has only one car still rolling off the assembly line with a Chrysler badge on it. And it's a minivan built in Canada. Ooh, this is bad for Chrysler. Yes, Chrysler invented the minivan, but that was decades ago. A brilliant concept of design and packaging. The idea has long since been rejected by American buyers looking to haul children and more in favor of the brawnier style of SUVs. That minivan, the Pacifica, is struggling along with most of the parent company Stellantis US's models. Pacifica's U.S. sales are down 21% in the first 9 months of the year and down 44% in the third quarter. Wow, that's bad. Meanwhile, the overall pace of U.S. car sales was up in the third quarter, so people are just rejecting the Pacifica, rejecting Chrysler. Get with the times, man. You want to make some good cars, you got to make what people want. Dr. Michael Schwartz. Michael Schwartz, the doctor. Welcome to the channel. I hear good things about the two mics. Thanks for joining us, Dr. Schwartz. Appreciate you. And welcome. Big, friendly welcome. So Chrysler, they're having some big issues. Another one of the big trending topics today is pushback against Tulsi Gabbard for DNI director. Viva Fry saying, how stupid does anyone have to be to even think of falling for this same stupid play? Democrat, that's how stupid you got to be. Reminding us about the 51 Intel officials that said that Hunter Biden's laptop had all the hallmarks of a Russian disinformation operation. Now we have nearly 100 national security officials who have reportedly signed a letter expressing opposition to Tulsi Gabbard's confirmation as Director of National Intelligence. Well, all this signals to me is that she's a good pick. If the people in the corrupt intelligence community who overthrow other nations and oppress us here at home as well are against her, then it's probably she probably at least has some good ideas. Yeah, mainstream media, propaganda, Democrats. Yeah, you guys remember that creepy video that Gretchen Whitmer released recently? Super, super weird. So this was trending earlier. It looks like I grabbed the wrong link for the trending topic, but obviously this was a big thing earlier. Here we go. Gabbard's DNI nomination faces security officials' scrutiny. Approximately 100 former national security officials have expressed opposition to Tulsi Gabbard's confirmation as Director of National Intelligence, DNI, by signing a letter. This is revealing who the bad guys are. The letter calls for closed Senate hearings to assess her qualifications. Oh, closed, because they can't do it in public, because people would realize that all their accusations are bullshit. Anything that they can't do in public should not be taken seriously, reflecting concerns about her fit for the role based on her political background and previous statements. This opposition has sparked a mix of reactions among political figures, with some seeing it as a negative endorsement that could conversely boost her confirmation chances. That's what I'm seeing, man. Whatever they do, we do the opposite. The complete and total opposite. Let's see, what is this other link that I had over here? The General, at General MC News, just also breaking the news. Yeah, how stupid do you have to be to fall for this again? They lied about the Hunter Biden laptop. They lied about Russia. They lie about everything. So you say jump, we duck. You say duck, we jump. They say Tulsi Gabbard bad. That means she's probably good, at least for the most part. How about this one from Illuminati Bot? Another cancer cure they don't want you knowing about. That probably means it's time for us to terminate the YouTube feed and go over to Rumble and exclusive broadcasting mode. So if you guys are watching on YouTube, which probably nobody is, since we're blackballed to the most hardcore degree possible on YouTube, we've been stuck at 600 supporters for over a year. 600 followers for over a year on YouTube. We are just, they tank us. They don't even give us the opportunity to get new viewers. So if you're watching on YouTube, sorry to have to ditch you. We'll be back on Monday for more Common Censored, but we're going to keep going for a couple more hours at least over here on Common Censored. So if you have to leave, we'll catch you next week. Until then, let's get ready to rumble!